Houston Texans fans, it was not the game we expected or the result, but
It kind of was the game I expected. It's just the other
defensive,
way around.
yeah,
Because if you factor in the points that I thought we left behind, it was exactly where we were gonna be. So that's what I thought it was. I knew it was gonna be a dirty, ugly, grimy ass game, but hey, it's Halloween spooky shit was happening.
yeah. I mean, you got two field goals missed by Fairbairn. One of them was a little harder than the other. Playing in a terrible stadium of and turf. A short week. Of course, you lost not one, but you have two top receivers out. So there's a lot of variables going in. Will Anderson got hurt. Um,
I'm more concerned about that than the L, to be honest with
yeah,
you.
yeah, that one. I mean, luckily for if it looked good, he was playing, but then he didn't come back. I don't know if it was the like halftime or whatever, but that I saw an interesting tweet and it was like, okay, Texans 6-3, and there has not been one game where I can feel like, I mean, I guess the New England game, but it where I'm like, damn, like this team's nice, like this team is legit, like
The
it's been,
Buffalo game I felt okay about. Uh,
yeah,
it's the same song and dance though, bro. It's like it's just like the quarterback pressures. It's really hard to get going when CJ's pressured like that and he can't stay clean because you don't know what we can do
yeah,
because you can't deviate. Like you're really just fighting for your life at that point.
yeah. They He had a career high 8 sacks. I believe it was
Yes.
like 9 pressures. They asked Laremy Tunsil. He was like, "It's the same thing that happens every week: overload, twist game, blitzing. Same thing we see every week. I think we just got to do better." I mean, it, there's not much the O line can say. I mean, we know
But
it.
it's true though
Yeah,
because like when you're, I mean, first and foremost, like obviously we want him to do better. You can look at that game and point a finger at everybody at some point in it. Some
yeah,
more than others. Kenyon Green, you know what I mean? But there was plays where Titus Howard got the shit beat out of him. There was plays when Tunsil got the shit beat out of him. So you have to blame him in totality, but also it's like that's a talented ass D line over there, bro. Like Damian Williams is elite, elite. Hassan Reddick is elite. Logan Thomas is a really good fucking player. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like, I like if you would have told me that the game ended with half of those sacks, I still think that's a lot. But he's right. Like, what do you do when Damian Williams stunts and the center's like, who the fuck am I supposed to get? Like, there's two big ass dudes pushing on me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Tunsil, I mean, fuck it. As much as I hate Tunsil talking because I think he's selfish, it's true. You just got to do better.
yeah. I mean, you think about it too. Like everybody's mad because they're the 2-6 Jets. This is they've had a whole week finally to get Devontae accustomed to their way of playing Jets football with Aaron Rodgers. It was not going to take long. So you have two receivers, top receivers. Hassan Reddick came back just in time for our game. Awesome. So it was a thing where it's like, all right, the odds were not in your favor at all. You had Stephon Diggs go out with season-ending injury. Your Nico Collins short. You got nothing but young receivers and Robert Woods out there learning how to play. You got a Band-Aid O-line that just got even more Band-Aid, but looked
Mm.
pretty
I
good
actually
with.
think that Band Aid is a better player.
Well, yeah, that Kenyon Green over or
Kendrick for
Kendrick Green.
Kenyon,
Yeah, yeah, Green for Green.
yeah.
I'm fine with it because it looked nice.
If you really look, like I watched the whole game, like every snap, and then a
Yeah,
little bit of it, the game a second time. Tank Dell played phenomenally, right?
yeah,
Joe Mixon played phenomenally. Robert Woods played a little bit better than I thought he was going to play.
yeah.
I have no issues with Dalton Schultz did because he caught everything that was thrown in his direction. Stover had a couple plays where he pushed through further than he should have. We were just outgunned yesterday, in my opinion. Like we did what we could with what we had, and I mean we fucking lost.
I mean, you were flying to New York. You've played in their home. Like you, I think fans also don't understand how much that takes a toll on people. You're
True.
not sleeping in your bed. You're sleeping in a hotel room. You're going from here. You're going from bus. You're going to plane. You're going, and it takes a toll on you and all that. And I'm not making excuses because every athlete does this stuff, but it's also it just happened. It was their short week on their Thursday night game. It would have been different a little bit if it was the Sunday game, and it's like, all right, you've had a little more time, you've had a little more, more practices, more rest days for some more guys to play and all that stuff. But you didn't, and it happens.
I'm hoping that history repeats itself somewhat because last year we went there and CJ got fucked up. It was his worst game last year. He was absolutely atrocious. They beat the shit out of us in a rain game. He missed the game after that for concussion, and I think Cleveland came in and stomped the shit out of us. And then he never looked back. Like he was rolling the rest of the year. So hoping history repeats itself and we can do that again. Yeah, please. It's just, I mean, what can I say? I can't. If I'm critical of anybody yesterday, it's gonna be Slowick again. I told you in the middle of the game, I was like, bro, we're playing aggressive at some points and conservative the rest of the time. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
take it to them or let them hit you. You can't do both in the middle of a drive.
Yeah, and D'Amico talked about it to the media. He didn't call Slowick out, but he was like, we went hard with the run in the first and half, and then the second it looked non-existent. And he was like, "That's on me as a head coach to make sure everything stays consistent." But it's like we know D'Amico, like who calls the offensive plays, and like everybody's all eyes are on that Wildcat thing, and it's like, oh, you shouldn't have done this, but like we know in sports, if you do the Wildcat and it works, it's amazing. Everybody
I
talking
have
about it.
absolutely no issues with that Wildcat play. I get it. It was in a critical moment, but we were on the goal line. We were kind of running the ball half-ass decent. And for all they knew, we were going to run that ball when Mixon took the snap. So I don't have an issue with that. My other issues is you keep calling bullshit plays on first down. That is the reason why you're getting fucked up on third down is because you're basically giving a down away on first. You have to do better. Like we didn't run no bubble screens. We could have ran a jet sweep with somebody. Like we have speed on the field. You know what I mean? Like be
Yeah,
creative, a little bit flashy with it. And he didn't do it. Like I would have reached as deep in my fucking bag yesterday as I could have if I was slow.
he it man, it's weird because there's like you said, there's spurts where you're like, oh shit, he's going in the bag a bit. Like we'll do this, we'll do that, and then he's like, oh, we scored. Oh, all right, pull it back now. Let's pull
Yep.
it back, and then it doesn't help that when you do want to do it, then it's CJ's over there getting sacked and pressured and all that stuff. So then you're having to play catch up with it. It's like, no, if you would have kept that same energy, you're going to tire
Dude,
that defense out. You're going to keep them on their toes, but you're letting them restart, reset, do the. Like I remember last year, we had a lot of times where we were just fast, just boom,
yes.
boom,
Well, there
boom,
was
boom.
at the end of the first half, we went quick pace, fast, no huddle kind of
Yeah,
shit, and it worked. But even before that, dude, you ran an 8.5 minute, 98 yard drive. That was a beautiful drive. You know what I mean? What are you doing? Like, stay the course to that. That you found what was working. Like you were moving CJ off his pocket. You were immediately moving CJ out of the pocket. Snap, run, go. Snap, run, throw. That's how you save him. You know what I mean? Even if CJ just runs for 4 on first down, it's better than fucking nothing. Is my point.
better
You know what I
than
mean?
nothing or his minus 15 yards.
Exactly.
Like,
Because I don't know who else. I mean, I'm a CJ fan. He's my quarterback, and he probably will be for 15 years. But I don't know if he can take those hits for too much longer.
no,
There was too many times yesterday he was looking in the dirt, and I didn't know if he was getting up, and I don't like that.
yeah. Being a Houston fan and we had to live through like a real Texans fan, we had to live through the car eras and all these other eras. Matt Schaub breaking his whole foot and everything. Like, yeah, I don't want to see my quarterback that way. Like, if this is the worst game that they have, cool. By all means, I'll accept it. I'll bite the bullet, and I'm like, let's move on from it. I
I'm
mean,
thinking like, even if, for instance, you're Casario after watching that yesterday saying, "Fuck it, I'm going to get an O lineman." Like, at what position? You know what I mean?
whoever's
Like,
available in that bargain bin, I guess.
I don't want a bargain bin. We got bargain bin people getting
Yeah,
fucked up right now. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, if you're gonna do something like that and spend more draft capital, it has to be somebody who can help you.
Because
And
everybody's like go receiver, go receiver. We need a receiver. But if CJ can't stay upright, that's
Exactly.
receiver ain't gonna matter. If the receiver is running his route and CJ's on the ground looking at the dirt, like you said, it don't matter who you have out there. You could have three top receivers and it ain't gonna matter.
And we proved that in the first half yesterday because we were pressuring Rodgers pretty well. Like we did well. He couldn't get shit. You know what I mean? They adjusted to our pressure, and then Wilson and Devontae kind of went off.
I
So
mean,
that's what it is. It's adjustments within the game that I think
yeah,
Slowick has the issue with. Like he
yeah.
comes into there with a plan, and then when shit don't work, he's like, "Well, now what I'm supposed to do? You gotta figure it the fuck out, bro."
He should have took that head coaching jobs because right now what he doing, everybody like, ah.
Yeah, but it also might. I was thinking about this earlier. Actually, I was thinking about this yesterday after the Texans game. I think I identified a problem for CJ. Maybe it's not a problem, and I'm just looking into it too much. But where the fuck is Case Keenum?
He's been injured. I know,
I
like
get
injured,
that,
injured.
but your
Yeah,
bitch ass ain't here to play. We're here to use your brain, and it
yes,
was evident it was working last year. Where you at?
yeah. I
You
need
go
you on. I
stand
need
on the
you. Yeah,
sideline.
yeah. I need you at CJ's ear right there when he goes and sits down. You're right there. I know.
It may sound foolish that I say that, but you can't tell me that that doesn't is not a factor.
I mean, the Astros had Theo Brantley and Maldonado there doing that shit all the time. Like it makes sense when you listen to people, especially him being a journeyman of a quarterback. It's like, all right, hey, bro, you had your high times up here. Now you on your low times. Welcome to the league. How the hell are you gonna deal with it? Are you gonna be Justin Herbert, or are you gonna try to be a Patrick
Well,
Mahomes, Lamar
well,
Jackson?
think about it. Yesterday in the first quarter, there was a play where DJ Reed blitzed off the edge from the corner spot. He hit CJ. It was two sacks in that first quarter. CJ never seen coming from the left because he never looked that way, which tends to be a habit of his lately. And I was like, well, I don't expect Davis Mills to go say nothing to him about it or how to fix it because how the fuck does he know? So if
Yeah,
Davis Mills can't do it and Slowick can't do it and Josh Johnson, the QB coach, can't do it, like who's in his ear tell him actually who knows what it's like to be a real quarterback, you know?
yeah,
That's why I was like, where's Case at, bro? We need him.
yeah. We need a lot of stuff. We have a lot of injuries. It just keeps piling up.
Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah,
also the Will Anderson thing, I'm thinking it might have been preventative maintenance.
yeah,
The reason I say that is because Danico Autry is elite on the outside, which and he had two sacks in the first quarter, so they were probably like, all right, let's not risk Will. Let's put Autry in his spot, and it should be sufficient. And I'm hoping that's what happened there
yeah,
because he looked okay,
yeah.
unless he
They
had
didn't
some
say much.
swelling.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't say much about him. Like in the end of it, they didn't say they were too worried or like who went for X-rays or anything. So I'm thinking that's probably what it was. Just rest, ice, swell. All right, done. Um, I mean, going forward, do they? You only have what about a week left till trade deadline?
Not
I
even
mean,
a week. You have
yeah,
until Tuesday.
yeah. So less than a week. Oh yeah, it's November already. Are you what? O line, safety, receiver.
To me, I'm fuck, bro. Like I just feel foolish going to get a O line or a receiver, is regardless of what we need. I just fail to believe you don't have the talent there at O line when you could run the ball like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do you dominate somebody and push them away so Mixon can get holes that big and tell me that there's not talent there? So there's a lack of communication, and I think it goes back to there's just no leader on that O line.
Yeah, you said it should have been Shaq Mason, like,
Yeah,
but he's not doing it.
yeah, he's just not doing it. You know what I mean? It's easy to run because your assignment is fairly simple. It's either like we're zone blocking that way, or you just push that bitch back. So I get why that would be easier for him, but I believe in my heart the talent that we need is there. Now, if I'm gonna go get somebody, I hate to say it, it might be a center to take the lead on that O line and move Juice to left guard because he played there before. That's the idea. And I told you yesterday, I don't hate the idea of putting Blake Fisher at right tackle and putting Titus Howard back at left guard. He played left guard all last year, so I mean it could be done.
Yeah.
So I just think there's other options before you go trade more draft capital on an O lineman.
Yeah.
Receiver, I don't want to do that either, bro. Unless it's a hell of a deal. Like you have to steal a player away from somebody.
And that's usually what Nick Casario does for D'Amico. It's usually nah, I got this dude for nothing, or what we feel
Yes.
is nothing, or the talent is better than the pick I gave up, like type of thing.
Yeah, but also like here's why I don't care about going to get a receiver. You're getting Nico back, right?
Yeah.
Tank Dell looked amazing yesterday, which means that you're gonna get your best back. Tank Dell goes back to his secondary role, which he excels at. Robert Woods looked good, and it's kind of the rest of the season for Mechie and Hutchins to prove it. Like who stays? Because then you go after a receiver in the offseason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go after a safety personally. If I was going after anything, because Jimmy Ward is stupid hurt all the time, and Callum Bullock keeps making rookie mistakes. Like Michael Wilson had the first touchdown yesterday. He caught a ball that Petrie took a chance on. He didn't get it, and then Bullock had Wilson 1-on-1 at the goal line, and he just fell down. Like
Yeah.
I would rather go try to get me a safety who can help lead the secondary if I do anything.
Yeah, because relying on your rookies as much as we have, we said we weren't going to, and we have had to, especially because Jimmy Ward's always hurt. He's our Lance McCullers on there. Um, it's just to the point where it's like, I think we can solidify that defense even more, which then helps the team out. Because it just feels like offensively, I mean, hopefully when you get Nico back in the O line with green out, they'll figure something out. And because Joe Mixon's the total bright spot, we get it, but it can't be this bad with because
Can't be.
like you said, there's moments where I'm like, this is amazing. And then it just goes away. You're like, what where the hell was it? Where's the rest of that at? Like, what the hell? What happened? Like it's like a firework, you lit it and then it just and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like that's it. I paid money for that bullshit.
yeah. And so I was like, I think so. Like, I get people are like, oh, go get Cooper Cup or go and trade for Tyreek or go to. I don't want a big name receiver. One, because then you still got to re-sign people.
Yes.
Two, those draft picks are very valuable. If you're complaining
Mm-hmm.
now about depth, wait until you lose those. And it's like if you truly feel that we are not like not us, but if you feel as a fan like, oh, we're not competitive enough to be in the playoffs. So why the hell am I going to trade some draft capital for one player?
Exactly. Exactly.
That player's not going to move me the needle anymore. Like, I mean, you have to work with what you have, and I get it. We always use Mahomes and all these other guys, but and they're like, oh, their coaches are different. No, but like you said, at the end of the day,
A
the coach
fucking
ain't putting the fucking
football.
pads on.
Yeah, a football player gonna be a football player when the ball's in motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like some people got it, some people don't. So, and to me, yesterday, CJ proved everything I needed to see. When he was running for first downs, when he was doing all that shit, when he was throwing on the run, he threw a fucking ball 50 yards in the air on the run. How he did that, I'm still baffled by that. He proved it to me that he is elite. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Not just figure it out.
yeah. And it's his second year. It's his second year, people. Every player has our sophomore, unless you're just like legit, like one of those guys. I
Now,
mean,
if there's one thing that I will be critical of CJ about is like sometimes I feel like, and this is a term that I steal from basketball, is like, are you playing the game or are you just playing the game? Meaning, are you doing it with intent or are you just going through the motions?
yeah,
For instance, that bullshit fumble inside the 10 yesterday in the first quarter, which would have probably been a touchdown because we were rolling, I blame that on CJ. You know what I mean? Like it was a sloppy handoff and shit was ugly. I mean, it wasn't even a handoff. Titus Howard got pushed into him, but it's like CJ, bro. When you feel that, you got to get out because you had a bailout. You just got to go with it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So, and I get it. Like you said, it's his second year to be that attentive and that aware, and every snap. It's just not feasible because there's probably only one or two people in the whole league who can do that. But it's on tape.
Yeah,
Watch it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
get
Learn
better at it.
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, and it feels like the stuff we've been critical of him on, he's pretty much gone back. I mean, it literally looks like he watched your last video and listened to everything you said. Run more, do this, do that. Like I was like, oh yeah, he listened to Zach. He's good at it.
It's not even listening to me. Like I would like to take credit for it. Like I
No,
want to be the smartest guy in the room, but that's just basic football. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like when you're a ball player, you're a ball player. You're around that shit for fucking ever. You just know what to do, and that's why
yeah,
I say like I don't give a fuck about that coach. Not to say that they're not important, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. Because CJ could go to that line every time he wants to and change the fucking play if he felt like it, and there's nothing the coach can do about it. You know what I'm
once the
saying?
ball is hiked, yes,
Exactly. Like you think Aaron Rodgers gives a shit what that offensive coordinator was calling? No.
no,
Peyton Manning just had an offensive coordinator because somebody had to somebody had to have the title. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like,
Omar,
I
Omar,
want CJ to be. It's like if you're gonna take the punishment and you're gonna be accountable for that shit, then take a little bit of that responsibility on, and don't just be a game manager anymore. Be an
yeah,
actual fucking elite quarterback.
yeah. Well,
Please be
hopefully,
healthy, Will. Please be healthy, Will.
hopefully
Please be
Will's
healthy, Will.
healthy. Hopefully we get Nico back. Hopefully we get a lot of our players back. Aziz
There
out for
was,
the year.
you know what? I want him back too. I want Christian Harris back too. I give a lot of fucking credit to Neville Hewitt and Henry To'oTo'o. To'oTo'o missed a tackle or two yesterday, but he was always where he was supposed to be. He dissected a shit ton of screenplays and was there to disturb him. And I feel like Neville Hewitt did a phenomenal job of stopping the run yesterday, pretty much on his own. Like he was letting the D line contain their gaps, and he was going to get the ball runner. So I'll give them a shit ton of credit. Another person I'll give a lot of credit to for yesterday, I was very thoroughly pleased with how Kamari Lassiter played. The dude was stupid aggressive. He played really good. I was like, okay, that little week or two off helped you, didn't it? Like you're ready to ball.
Yeah, there
And
was some bright spots.
that holding call on Stingley, that was bullshit.
Yeah,
That a little bit of a swing in the game, in my opinion. I'm not saying we lost because of that, but that was
but
our fucking ball. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
that was some straight bullshit. Like straight bullshit. Like even the announcers, they wanted to say it. They're like, I wouldn't have called that, but yeah, it was. You could say it was some bullshit. That was one of those. We got to make sure that we get Aaron Rodgers and them right rolling right. And this is
That was a
keep it.
fourth down play.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like
They
that
gave
was
him the first
bullshit.
down.
Yep.
It's like it changes momentum for sure. I'm gonna look at the bright spots. Short week. We got more games to come. I mean, I ain't gonna put my head down on this game. We had games like this last year, Panthers and all these other bullshit games, where it's like, all right, I'm a figure we gonna figure some shit out. And if I think about it, we kind of have more dealt with more adversity this year so far than we had last year with all the injuries and shit. So it's
For
like
for sure. For sure.
only difference is we
I
have a
mean,
running back.
it was it's just hard. It's hard to feel good about that game because it's the same problem with the quarterback pressure. But you know, I'll take the good from the rest of that team. What the team did, I'm not giving up on the team because the O line can't get their shit together.
Yeah.
Because that defense did every fucking thing it could to keep us in that game for 3 quarters.
I mean, you gotta tip your hat to Garrett Wilson doing the Michael Jordan logo on
That was a beautiful catch, bro. That was a beautiful
like
catch.
that's one of those catch of like when they say catch of the year like type shit. You just gotta tip your hat and be like, hey, ain't nothing I can do about it. Like the best receivers do stuff like that, and that's all good. I'm just gonna be done with it. Um, I mean,
On to the next one.
yeah. Well,
We have
technically,
4 days. Maybe we'll make a trade. Maybe we won't. If you see our ugly mugs on this bitch, and you know we made a trade.
it was like, hey, Texas got Robbie chose it. No, just kidding. No,
Oh.
there's people asking
that
for Chosen, Claypool, Odell Beckham. I was like, get out of here.
no,
Yeah,
but
no,
I could see Houston doing some goofy. If we're gonna go for a receiver like a Jacoby Myers,
Yeah, I can see that.
because the Raiders will come off of him for a fairly decent price. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't hate that because there's two things I know for sure, with absolute certainty, is Jacoby Myers ain't afraid to come across the middle of the field and get his head taken off, and CJ ain't afraid to do it for you. He'll throw the ball there. So and Nico Collins bailed us out of a lot of shit last year just coming across the field, and I would much rather risk Jacoby Myers than Nico Collins.
It's like, what's my job? You're gonna play that role right there. Right?
Yeah,
Tank and Nico, y'all good? You're playing that role. All right,
like you
got
get
it.
in the slot, it's a 17 foot, it's a 17-yard in, and don't stop because he's gonna throw it to you on the run because it's gonna hurt
Just
a little
hold
bit.
on. Hold on to the ball. You get a bonus at the end of the year and a brisket. Oh man. All right, Texans fans. It's been fun. It's a new day, new week. Enjoy your Sunday. Yeah, worry about football. Let all the other people stress about their teams. Um, Other than that, like, subscribe. We'll be here for a lot more content. A long season still. Pump the brakes.
Word.
Uh,
We're still winning our division.
yeah, but we suck. It's I don't know. It's fans. I guess there's fans that thought we were gonna go undefeated. So I'm like, yeah,
Hey, just let them have their opinion. That's how the team makes money.
yeah. Well, we're done, Houston. All love. Y'all be safe.